Welcome to HeartNest Stories, where every story reminds us that one small act of kindness or a harsh moment of arrogance can change someone's life forever. If you enjoy emotional stories filled with hope, compassion, and unforgettable life lessons, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to HeartNest Stories. Today's story is a powerful reminder that true wealth isn't worn on the outside, and disrespect always comes with a heavy price. Let's begin. Sweetie, if you needed extra work tonight, you could have just signed up. Pretending to be a guest isn't the move. Allow me, a man's voice interrupted. One less confused worker ruining the vibe. Yo, he actually did that. Maybe now he knows where he stands. He didn't own a suit that cost enough to impress anyone in that room. He owned the company signing the deal. Nobody in that ballroom knew it. So, they poured wine on him instead. In front of 200 guests, calling him staff, calling him nothing. Phones were already recording, and by the time they realized what they'd done, he was already gone. You know that feeling when a room looks perfect, but something rotten is hiding under all that shine? That was the night Trevon Ashby walked into the Meridian Grand Ballroom. Navy suit, simple watch, clean fade, nothing loud. The kind of look rich people overlooked because it didn't beg for attention. He liked it that way. Let them guess. Crystal chandeliers hung over white tablecloths. A quartet played something soft nobody actually listened to. Every screen in the room glowed with one logo, spinning slow, Novacore Dynamics. Their $750 million deal with a mystery investor was the only thing anyone talked about. Staff whispered it in the hallway. Guests bragged like they already owned a piece of it. Trevon moved through the crowd slow, hands in his pockets, eyes scanning faces. Security had already stopped him at the door. The guard had looked him up and down. You with catering, sir? Trevon just smiled and held up a black card with a silver seal. The guard stepped back, red-faced, but the damage was already done because inside, the same energy followed him everywhere. Two women in sequins clutched their bags tighter when he passed, like he might bump into them. A man in a tux cut in front of him at the bar. Staff line's over there, right? Trevon didn't answer. He just stepped aside and ordered water. If tonight went the way he planned, he wouldn't need to explain a single thing to the far end of the room. The host tapped the mic and cameras swung toward the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Novacore Dynamics Gala. Applause rose like a rehearsed reflex. Trevon stood near a marble column, close enough to see everything, far enough to be invisible. Tonight, we celebrate a historic partnership, the host said, smiling too wide. $750 million. A deal that will reshape this city, maybe the whole market. You could feel the greed thicken in the air. Then she appeared. Peyton, the CEO's wife, glided onto the stage in a gold dress that caught every light in the room. Beside her stood her husband, Grant Kessler, the face of Novacore, in a suit pressed so sharp it looked dangerous. Everyone watched them. Everyone except the one man who actually owned the company they were about to sign with. Whispers started before Trevon even moved. A server passed with a wine tray, and a guest leaned toward her friend. That guy keeps popping up where he shouldn't. Bet he's trying to blend in. Her friend laughed under her breath. Cute suit, though. Trevon ignored it. He kept his steps easy, his face calm. Peyton spotted him first. Her smile curled slow, like she'd found a target she'd been hunting for all night. She whispered something to Grant. Grant's eyebrows dropped, and he stepped off the stage, walking straight at Trevon with a tight, fake charm plastered on his face. Sir, are you supposed to be standing here? Grant tapped Trevon's sleeve like he expected him to flinch. Trevon kept his voice soft. I'm fine here, just observing. Grant chuckled. Observing? Right. He snapped his fingers at a passing server. Get this man a towel. Looks like he's sweating through that budget suit. A few guests glanced over, trying not to stare. Someone whispered too loud. Who let him into VIP? Staff entrance is on the other side. Peyton arrived next, heels clicking in a clean rhythm. She lifted a wine glass off a tray without even looking at the server, then looked Trevon up and down. Sweetie, if you needed extra work tonight, you could have just signed up. Pretending to be a guest isn't the move. Trevon said nothing. His silence unsettled her more than words could. She pushed the glass toward his chest. Go take this to table 3. They're waiting. He didn't move. Her smile cracked. Seriously? Do your job. Grant snatched the glass from her hand. Allow me. He raised it high. eyes sweeping the crowd like he was performing. One less confused worker, ruining the vibe. Then he tipped the glass forward and poured it straight down Trevon's chest. The wine hit warm and sharp. It slid down his collar in dark red lines. Gasps cracked through the room. Phones lifted. Peyton laughed under her breath. Maybe now he knows where he stands. Trevon wiped his jaw with 2 fingers, slow and controlled. He straightened his jacket, turned, and walked toward the exit without saying a single word. A server whispered as he passed, "That man just walked out like he owns this whole place." Nobody believed it. Not yet. The hallway outside felt cooler, almost silent. Trevon walked steady. He breathed once, slow, then pulled out his phone. The screen lit his face. He tapped one contact. A voice answered instantly. "Ready for instructions, sir." Trevon's voice stayed low. "Pull the offer. Freeze every channel. Announce it now." "Understood." The call ended. No emotion, just motion. A second message buzzed. "Legal team confirmed. Everything's moving." When the elevator doors opened, the lobby buzzed with guests. Trevon didn't slow down. Outside, a valet rushed toward him. He lifted one hand. "Walking's fine." At the edge of the lot, Trevon's phone buzzed one more time. Announcement delivered. Partners notified. He locked the screen and slid it into his pocket. Behind him, the glass doors burst open. Voices spiked. A wave of panic rolled through the lobby. Trevon didn't turn around. He stepped into the streetlight, walking with the same quiet certainty he'd carried all night. Music, dramatic, descending into chaos. Voiceover. Inside, everything broke at once. The music cut mid-note. Screens flickered. A tall man in a gray suit rushed through the tables in panic. He whispered something to the host, who went pale. Grant noticed first. "What's going on?" The host swallowed hard. "The signing's suspended." The room erupted. "Suspended for what?" A woman whispered. "You don't freeze a $750 million deal middle of a gala." Peyton grabbed the host's arm. "Who gave that order?" "It came from the top. Directives final." Grant's jaw locked. "I'm the top." The host shook his head. "Not tonight." Across the room, executives stared at their phones as alerts stacked up. Every account tied to Novacor just got frozen, someone blurted. "Investors are pulling out." "My screen's all red." Then, someone near the doors tapped a friend's shoulder. A video played on a phone screen. The clip showed Grant tipping the glass, Peyton smirking, and the caption, "They humiliated a man they thought was staff. He walked out like he owned the place." The clip spread like fire. A new alert lit up the main display screens behind the stage. Novacor Dynamics contract terminated. Just gone. A board member stormed toward Grant, face bloodless. "This is catastrophic. Do you have any idea who you offended tonight?" "I offended no one." Grant barked. "You offended the man who funded this entire deal." The board member hissed. Peyton's breath caught. "Who?" "Trevon Ashby. He owns the partner company. All of it. Every share." A gasp rolled across the hall. Grant looked around the room like the air itself had vanished. Peyton pressed a hand to her forehead, her voice shaking. "We poured wine on the investor." The fallout hit full force. Novacor's future cracked apart in real time, right there under the chandeliers. And somewhere outside, Trevon kept walking, already 3 steps ahead of everyone still standing in that ballroom. Morning hit Grant and Peyton like a truck with no brakes. Headlines flooded every screen. The wine clip looped nonstop. Investors bailed. Board members resigned overnight. Novacor stock dropped so fast the numbers looked fake. By noon, Peyton finally said it out loud. "We have to talk to him. If we don't, everything is gone." They drove across town to Trevon's neighborhood. Quiet streets, ordinary houses, the total opposite of the chaos they'd woken up inside. When Trevon opened the door, he studied them with calm eyes, like the entire storm hadn't touched him at all. Peyton spoke first, her voice breaking. "We were wrong. We treated you like nothing. Please, let us fix this." Grant's voice shook, too. "We lost everything. Just give us a chance to talk." Trevon stepped aside, but he didn't invite them in. His tone was soft, firm, and final. "You didn't lose everything today. You lost it the second you decided a person's worth came from your own comfort. You built a world where you believed disrespect had no cost. Now you're just seeing the bill." Peyton wiped her face. "We didn't know who you were." "That's the problem," Trevon said. "You didn't care who I was." Grant swallowed hard. "Is there anything we can do?" Trevon shook his head once. The deal is gone, the trust is gone, and my door is closed. He stepped back into the doorway, already turning away. Walk carefully, he said. The world is smaller than you think. They left with nothing. His life kept moving forward. Their legacy stayed right there on that porch, cracked open, and never got picked back up again. What a powerful reminder that true power is found in humility, and how we treat others says everything about who we really are. Thank you for tuning in to HeartNest Stories. If this story resonated with you, please hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe to HeartNest Stories for more emotional journeys and unforgettable life lessons. Until next time, stay kind, and remember, every soul you meet deserves respect.